I do.
Yeah.
Hey, everyone, and everyone being almost no one.
Yeah.
We wanted to chat. Do not be offended if I don't see what's going on in chat because I'm kind of working. Oh, look at this SIM card failure. I'm having such a hard time.
That's
All
funny
my
that Eileen had already typed in the chat, and like it was like 2 minutes later before I got the notification we were
oh really?
live. Yeah.
No, this is horrible. My phone or the SIM card or both are just failing me, and I could either turn the phone on or off, or I can go into airplane mode, try and fix it that way. But so yeah, literally all I'm doing tonight is
I'm
taking the
bored.
sets, taking pictures. Yeah, literally, I'm bored.
I like your title, yeah.
Taking pictures with the desk here. Actually, I can add this one, and I'm just going snap, snap, and doing whatever. But not doing that one right now.
Nathan and we watched it's the second time through. I watched the newest Bad Batch episode with him now. It's funny at the end that he like totally dropped his jaw. He's like,
Oh,
he's like, really? Oh yeah, you haven't seen it. Yeah, you'll see. Yeah. No, it was a good episode.
hey Irvin, how you doing?
Here we are.
I can't see. My phone just is not. Now, if I power it off, power it back on, it tends to work.
Yeah, it's funny. It won't let me. It's not giving me the chat window for me to type in there.
Really?
You know what? I'm gonna try. I'm gonna leave and then come back in and see if it loads it properly.
So you don't see the comments at all?
Well, I see the comments, and usually at the bottom of that column, there's a place to type chat, and it's not there.
Oh,
I'll be right back.
okay. And he's gone. Yeah, I just wanted to talk to Ryan and whoever else was around. I'm not going to be looking at the screen or the chat too often. So if you want to come on stream, then I can hear you and we can talk. Let's see. So how's that?
Yeah, no, still. I'm sure I could type in the chat from here before.
You sure? You sure you weren't just doing it? I don't know because I never type in the chat when I'm on someone
No,
else's stream.
well,
I don't, so I don't pay attention to it. So I don't
yeah,
know. Maybe you can't.
I thought I could, but maybe I dreamt that. Maybe I was just going from my phone. That might be.
Building a train I got from the store. Nice.
Oh, I saw your updates. Uh, Building that flowers set there, Eileen. That was cool. You
Yes,
totally the when the first and second pictures she posted, I had no idea what she was building. Not a clue.
I'm not. I'm still not thrilled with it. Because I'm not a flower person anyway, and
Yeah.
it definitely doesn't grab me like the bouquet did, or even that Chinese set. But maybe if the price comes down a bit.
So yeah, it was a busy night. Should have stayed off Amazon.
Yeah, I know. You really like. I've been teaching some people about stocktrack.ca, and of
Oh yeah.
course, yeah, that can be lethal.
Uh, I used to look on that more, but it it's not what it was like 2 3 years ago. That's for sure.
No, here I'll throw the open link out for anyone who's been on before. You're welcome to use it. Just grab my attention so I know where to look. But literally, I'm just painfully going through this process of taking pictures, updating my collections, and spamming it all over my socials. See, look, and there's my now my LTE's working again on my phone. It's an iPhone 7, who knows, right?
Yeah.
It could be just wanting to be updated. Please update me, please. I think some people are shocked just how much I do get done with the cell phone. Like, other than the live streaming builds, everything else I do on the phone.
Yeah.
And I do all the edits on the phone. I do the speed ups on the phone. If I bother with color correction, I do that on the phone.
At some point, I'll start playing with some of the other, like some of those different apps that you've shared with me. I haven't taken the time to sit down and play with anything yet, but at some point I'll download one and seeing what the other ones are.
Well, you see how slick I can make it if I try.
Yeah.
I mean, even the bouncing logo that I had on my review video today, I did all that on the iPhone.
Yeah.
There are better ways to do it on a PC, sure, but I don't actually like sitting at this desk.
I guess probably my biggest problem is I'm not very, what's the word? Lack of a better word, artistic.
Oh.
That's my son. Yeah, I should get.
I do have a good sense of how to set things up and everything, but I'm also inherently lazy. And now I'm slipping into a formula of like a workflow. So even my live streams now, I've decided I'm sticking with one background. My new bricks this week, I got now one setup and I just changed the one picture. Quality of life stuff that just makes it easier and faster to produce the content. It's what's working for me now.
Yeah.
Because I don't really want to spend a lot of time doing certain things. I mean, I'm not making money doing any of this, so I'm pretty happy with those.
Well, that last video I did, I was doing it. That was the night before we left on vacation. I did it, and then I was like, "Oh, it's probably going to take me a good hour or more to do the editing and stuff." And I did my thumbnail and edits, and I looked at the clock and it's like, "Oh, so I've been like 25 minutes." Yeah, I guess I don't put a lot of thought and effort into it. Sorry, let's talk. Bang, bang, done. Like 25 minutes.
Hello, Mama.
Oh, it's come and gone.
Hey! She was there for a second.
Yeah.
Well, at least I do hear the beep. I do hear the beep when they show up.
Oh, you get an alert?
Well, like when you came in, I hear like a drop sound or something.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And then you have to allow the person to come in?
Yeah. They just sit in the green room forever. That's why I'm not worried about putting the link out there, because no one can get on stream unless I allow it. Unless they really, really know their stuff. Hi, Mama. Is it working now?
Because no one can get on stream unless I allow it.
We see you.
Really, really know their stuff.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yep, and we can hear you.
Okay.
We see you.
Yep.
You having a good evening, Mama?
Can you hear me? Yeah.
And we can hear you.
Okay.
You'll have to forgive me. I'm not looking at the camera much. I'm just looking at the phone because I do literally almost everything on the phone.
Yeah.
For updating all my pictures and updating my videos and all that silly stuff.
I was a bad girl. I went to the Lego store. First time in over 2 years.
Here, I gotta turn you up a bit.
I've been sneaking this stuff in the house. He doesn't know.
Oh no. I stopped that a long time ago. It just got ridiculous. Like I just couldn't get away with it. So
Did
nope.
you get some coins?
I-
Gumball.
My first pick a brick. Never done that before.
Oh, the wall. Nice.
Is it all?
So were you able to make your own cups or did they make it for you?
I did it and I hated it because I couldn't get my hand into it properly.
Okay.
So it was a pain in the ass, but I did get it done. So I
Okay.
just picked out colors I liked. No idea what I'm going to do with them. And I forgot to order that on August 1st. So I got him for Halloween.
Oh, cool.
Oh, nice.
I had to ask for the coin.
Okay.
Right? God was letting me walk out the door, and I said, can I have this, please? And he gave it to me. I got silver, wanted gold.
Oh, cool.
Polly bag. And a couple of Looney Tunes, and it was a double tab. I always get the doubles.
Yeah.
I do pretty good with the figures if I'm going at it.
No. They just handed me two, so I didn't have a chance.
2009.
Yeah, I'm not much for feeling out blind bags. Nathan, he's much better at it than I am.
Oh, it's definitely something for the kids.
Yeah, and he's pretty good. He's the last few times he's gone. He's like, I think it's such and such, and oh, we'll see when we get home. Yeah, he's. I bet he's like 8 out of 10.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Oh, cool.
It's pretty tall, Richard.
I'm sorry. Say
The
it again.
leaves.
It's pretty tall.
Yeah. Well, see,
Those leaves look like pieces from the construction figures or something.
you know what? See,
No?
to me, they look like shovels, and maybe that's why I'm resisting it so much. It
Yeah.
looks like a bunch of shovels on sticks. So,
But
yeah, I don't know what to make of it yet.
the guy said that in the wind they do bounce, and they do. I tried it with my fan, and just gently bounced around.
Oh,
So it looks like a real thing. But my hands are swollen from working on it.
yeah.
Yeah. And you have to know it. You can't do it unless you know it. Know it. You gotta like put pieces right because there's a left and a right to all the leaves,
Excuse me.
Oh,
right? So
right.
you really need to put the same spot, same thing to get it together. Otherwise, you're doing it 5 times over.
One thing I like about that set is the base. Like, at least they thought about it, whereas they hadn't on the first one. I mean, it's nice that we put the flowers in the hurricane. My wife's got it near her desk set up, and it's like, it looks great, but you know, everyone's setup will be different, and they move around too much, and I'd be worried about the parts falling off. So I like the idea that people were thinking, oh, we should build a base as part of the build. Of course, there's more parts. I don't know. I just hope they're consistent with the flowers. I think that's going to be important. They need to either do them one way or the other, I think, with the large flower sets.
Well, what I did to keep mine steady is I went to the dollar store and got blue gravel.
Oh, okay.
Blue gravel, and I bought 2 of the containers and just dumped it in and then put the flowers in, and they stay a lot more steadier than nothing in the vase.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, see, you're treating them as real flowers, or what a lot of people do with their plants, right? And it's funny how now we're gravitating toward the idea of Lego plus something that's not Lego.
Yeah.
And we're thinking, and now it's okay, and we're slowly starting to accept that. Like, oh, aesthetically, it's going to look nice, and it looks so good. And
well, I mean, everybody was saying ship in the bottle, and I figured I'd rather have the ship in the bottle than taking it all apart. If that's what I wanted. So, yeah, my bank is taking another hit. And I was a bad girl and I bought from the dealer again. So I get that in September when it comes down.
Eileen and her dealer.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, no.
He deals me Lego. I think my husband called him the dealer. And I'm okay.
Did you see Jazz's community post about he's pretty much got all the hidden side sets he can find?
I couldn't
Really?
believe how many he had.
Oh, I commented. I was like, I think you got the market cornered on hidden side. That's what you call monopoly. He's just got a wall of them.
A wall,
It's just,
2 shelves high.
yeah.
Yeah. No.
Oh, this is
Harry Potter, that new Harry Potter coming out is going to be so hard to resist.
I like that new large one with the
love it.
owl on it. It looks
Yeah.
beautiful. I'm not a Harry Potter guy, but that is a very nice set.
Well, until I saw the
I'm kind of the
first
same.
one.
I never watched any of the movies when they came out. I've never bought any of the sets, but so many of the sets.
I purposely
actually look
avoid
really
the
good.
movies.
And I
Yeah.
got into the movies, and then I actually have the box set Blu-ray. 'Cause once I started watching them, actually, it was like these movies are actually really good.
I
So
tell
I've
you,
seen
though,
all the movies, and
they're targeting us adults. It's very clear now.
yeah,
When did they even come out with more Harry Potter sets? I don't know, but it's like this big
Oh,
one
yeah.
for us adults. I mean,
yeah. I think they're seeing that there's such a market for for adults for their toys now. There's just going to be more and more 18 plus stuff come out as years go on here. I think big time.
Like, I've seen every Harry Potter. I've read every Harry Potter book. Right? And I was like in my 50s, no, 40s when it came out. But it was such well written. And I even went on the train in Scotland, the Harry Potter train in Scotland.
Oh,
I
really?
mean, oh, beautiful scenery, beautiful scenery.
Wow.
So, but I can't put in my head that I want to pay over almost $400 for the new set. I just can't. I can do 100 here, 150, but I just can't go over that.
Yeah.
no, it's a lot.
Right?
It's a
And the girls
tough
don't know who he
hobby
is.
to keep up with.
Yeah.
There's so many things I want. All the Star Wars helmets. I've kind of decided I want to try and have them all. The brickhead. I'm going to try and keep up. If they do release any more brickheads, I want to keep getting that because I've got all the Star Wars minus the Comic-Con one. Because I'm not going after any of the common ones. I want them all.
Well, you could bricklink them and build them minus the unique part.
Yeah.
You might even be able to buy decals to replicate prints that are too hard to get.
Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me. But yeah, actually, something I'm thinking this winter, I want to order some of the acrylic stands for a few different things.
Ooh, soon. Okay.
Ooh.
Yep.
I've got them in my cart on eBay. They've been sitting there for like 4 months already.
Now
They're
that
kinda
means you're getting
there.
emails every other day. Like, this
Yeah.
is in your
This
cart.
is
Would you
left
like to
in your
commit to
cart.
this now?
Yeah. Well, I'm hoping they put out a coupon or something that I can maybe get $10 off or something like that.
Yeah, I got one or two of those recently. Like, oh, geez, that's tempting.
Oh, you have, eh? And see, the last
Oh,
time
and
I
I've
got
gotten offers from sellers sometimes saying the seller will reduce the price to you if you act now. But
Oh,
it's not
really?
exclusive. Yeah. For a handful of things that I've put in my cart. I guess if it's not moving, maybe eBay puts it to the seller saying, hey, people are watching, or people got it in their cart and they're this close to committing to it,
Yeah.
and they just need that little nudge.
Yeah. Well, I've got that gunship, and now I actually have a second one. I just need to get the few parts that are missing. But I thought of getting 2 acrylic stands to get them up a little bit. But the other is I've got an Imperial shuttle with that Tidarium, and the Krennic shuttle. I thought if I get the acrylic stand, I can display them with the wings down, and
Okay.
that'll look good on the shelf. Like I like the ships, but it doesn't do them justice with the wings all folded up. You need them down.
This is so painfully slow, me updating this. Our internet's definitely taking a crap here, and we're probably going to have to do something about it. But on top of that, Snups is dragging too. And yeah, I mean, this is a dreadfully slow process, me updating my collection here.
You know, I haven't uploaded any Snups in a long time.
Well, you know me, I'm still hopeful that something sorts out. I'm hoping someone buys them out.
Yeah.
And Google or someone says, okay, here's 50 million or 100 million, get the hell out. We're taking it. Well, no, because that's what all these tech guys hope for.
Yeah.
Most of them don't want to be shouldering this forever because they know they're not going to be the next Jeff Bezos or whatever. They're hoping Jeff Bezos comes and buys them out, or Zuckerman or whatever.
Yeah. Well, then you should start your own line. You never know. Maybe you'd be the guy getting 50 million.
Well, I understand enough about the underlying tech, but I also understand that this won't work unless I have cloud storage.
Yeah.
And you either have Amazon cloud storage or you have the other guys. And you're paying. So where are you going to and I'm not paying for it. So how am I going to make money that will cover that?
Yeah.
And I think this is the biggest problem, is that stuff like Snups and other similar utilities, even some video games that have cloud storage for stuff, for servers, they're piggybacking free services they trip over. Well, those free services aren't fast enough to keep up.
Yeah.
And I'm seeing it because, like, I'm refreshing and doing whatever with Snups, and it's just so painful. You know, 1/2 the time tonight, it's just, look, my picture isn't showing up.
See,
this is horrible.
I don't know what it is, but even at work, like maybe 2-3 years ago, they actually dug in and hooked us up. We've got fiber optic right into the building now at work, and still at sometimes like our connection is just freaking terrible.
See, I'm getting this right now. Circle, circle, circle.
Yeah.
And I need this screen to update just so I can take 3 different tabs that I get open, take bits and pieces from those, draw it into Snups, save Snups again, and then copy that final save stuff into, it's a whole thing. I'm pulling out my own hair because I've made my life harder than it needs to be.
But between our internet at work and then our business system, like that whole part of it lagging, it's just like, sometimes, especially in our business, like it's incredible how much we rely on technology for everything I do at work. Like I'm totally reliant on being on. Actually everything's like web app based now with our parts catalogs and our dealer portal, which we use to connect with CNH. It's just, So
same problem with us at work. When something goes down, everything is dead.
Yeah, we're like, if it does go down, like I can't access pricing. Like I know where like somebody comes in looking for a specific thing. I've got enough knowledge. Sometimes like I know what they need. I know where to get it, but I don't know what the price is. We don't have hard copies or anything of price tapes. So
can you imagine if you started printing out your catalog or something like?
Well, yeah,
it'd be like a Bible, I'm sure, and you'd still never find anything.
At one time, like once a month, they were sending out an email of like an Excel file with like each branch's inventory, basically. So you could use like Control F and you could put a part number and it would take you to that, and it would give you the price at that time. There might be a price change, but at least you'd be close. That then we could go and do a handwritten invoice and whatever, and still creep along until things came back. But they haven't bothered to do that in 4 or 5 years. Probably the last time I saw have an email with a price date. So
now I'm praying for Snups to say the 3 things I just copy and pasted. Like, please work, please work. This is horrible.
So what are you taking pictures of? Rich?
Oh, just, everything I buy, right? I'm just, so I have a visual archive and a list archive of what I've got. Because there's nothing worse than not knowing what you have and then you accidentally buy it again.
Well, I mean, because of all the glitches at midnight on the 1st, I ended up getting 2 copies of the Halloween spiders. And by the time I realized it, they had put it in the warehouse already. Like, it was just slipping into the warehouse.
Oh.
5 minutes after you ordered it, everything went to the warehouse. You didn't have enough time to back it out again.
My August 1st order yesterday was updated. FedEx had it, blah, blah, blah. And then it said I should be expecting it Monday. Around 2 o'clock today, when my family was out, all of a sudden I got FedEx attempted delivery, blah, blah, blah. Are you kidding me? I was home.
Yeah, but Rick, if you look at the fine print, FedEx doesn't deliver on the weekend.
Oh, I get deliveries all the time on the weekend from them. All the time. In Toronto? All the time from FedEx.
I am in Toronto.
Yeah, well, all the time I get. The thing is like, if I'd known, I would have put a note or whatever, come knock.
They have to go and you get it.
But I intended to go get it anyway. I usually do. It's not a big deal. I usually do that Fridays, but it's like, if the depot's open tomorrow, and if it's at the depot, maybe I'll pick it up on my way out to Scarborough because I'm going to my buddy's place for lunch. But yeah, that was frustrating. It's like so close because I'm going to do new bricks tomorrow. So if I do new bricks tomorrow night, and if I can have this, like, cool. I don't know. But of course, it's a mixed blessing because if I leave it till Monday after work, then that gives me something for next week. So,
they're great at saying they're going to show up on Monday and they show up by Wednesday. So I never trust them.
Oh, it's been bad with me and FedEx for a while now on dates and stuff. And you know what? It's just the Lego too. Everyone else is pretty good. The Lego is the longest delays.
Yeah,
and I know with Walmart how we deal with FedEx, and I got a feeling it's just that much worse with how Lego's dealing with them because they're filling the like this. The labels produce. It doesn't mean anything because they slap pick a lot of stuff now. So, the labels produce. Well, that could still be 2 days before it gets near your product, and then even if it's on your product and your product's been packaged up, it doesn't mean it's on the trailer. And even if it's on the trailer, FedEx doesn't show that they've got their hands on it until one of 2 things happens. It gets to their depot or they jump in the trailer and scan one piece from the whole load. That's what happens with us in my warehouse. So until they scan one piece in that trailer, they don't have possession of any of that stuff. But once they do that first scan, then it shows, blah, 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 FedEx has it. But then it still has to leave. It's got to get on the road. Like in our case, get to Mississauga, because that's the closest sorting hub before it goes anywhere. And it's like, it's kind of sneaky. Really sneaky how that is. Especially if you're paying for quick shipping by FedEx.
Not worth it.
No, I wouldn't pay for it.
You always see Mander always complaining about, because he'll pay for like next
expedited
day.
Yeah.
And it's like, he like rarely ever gets it next day. It's always 2 to 3 days, and just pisses him off.
Yeah, you ain't get it. My buddy, he hates Amazon 1-2 day shipping because it's a lie. They'll say whatever, but they don't they won't do anything for 2 or 3 days at the warehouse, and then it's 2 days shipping.
Yeah.
So it's still 5 days shipping. It's painful.
Yeah.
Well, Amazon was dropping it off in the lobby. There's no secure place for it to be. And there's everybody walking by it and everything else. I complained 4 times to Amazon.
So is that the Amazon delivery guy, or is that Canada Post delivering,
No,
or is
it's
that
Amazon, it's TCC, whatever.
Yeah.
And they were just dropping it from all the mailboxes. Well, I'm sorry, I do live in housing, and there's a lot of light fingers around here. So I just kept complaining. I look at the app and said, your parcel has been delivered. Open my front door. There's nothing there. I raced down to the main floor to find it sitting there. So I just kept complaining and complaining, and finally said, okay, we'll put you on that they have to deliver it right to you. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
either
I don't-
deliver
I don't
right
like
to
those
you or
I don't like those little Amazon guys. That's why, for me, I love setting it up so it goes to my local Canada Post. For me, it works great. I love that. I miss out on a lot of stuff because Amazon Canada, because I don't want that little guy with the small car delivering. Because you're right, they'll drop it at the door and run. They take a picture as if, hey, I made my delivery, and they take off. It's like, that don't mean anything, buddy. I hate that. And of course, my Amazon.com from the US and even the UK deliveries, I really worry about those being dropped at the door as opposed to going to Canada Post or someone else. Like Intelcom is one that delivers to me from eBay. eBay orders from the States. And it really drives me crazy because they will drop it at the door. And it's like, if I'm ordering from eBay, there's a really high chances of real value.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
I don't want that dropped at the door.
yeah. Anytime I've ordered from eBay, usually it ships. Well, a couple times it ships Pitney Bowes,
Yes, Pitney
And
Bowes
then-
Logistics. Yeah,
and then it links up with Canada Post. So when it gets into Canada,
yeah.
No.
I don't mind the Pitney Bowes setup too much. It seems to be pretty good for me.
yeah,
But I never know until it shows, because they might hand it to someone else too.
Then I got ripped off eBay about 10 years ago, so I stopped using eBay. I lost about $200.
Ooh.
So I went, no more eBay.
I can't avoid eBay because there's so much stuff I honestly can't get by any other method other than
Yeah.
a scalper on eBay, because especially like with Mega or some of the other off brands or just odd things I want. I'm stuck. eBay's the only real option.
yeah. Actually, you're right though with any Mega stuff. Yeah, but the only way to guarantee you can get it is eBay, and even at that, some of it's like next to impossible to find. Like, I'm still looking for the turtle van party
The
wagon.
turtle
or whatever.
van, yeah.
And, you know,
I look occasionally for it, and it's like,
It was there kind of the first time that we talked about it, and I was considering ordering one off eBay, but it ended up being that time it was like $100 more than what I spent on that Technodrome set. But there was a party wagon there at that time too, and I was like, oh. And now it's
Yeah.
gone. I can't find one.
oh,
Yeah, I can't find a party wagon on eBay, or haven't lately anyway. Not that I should be buying one right now, but
Yeah, if I don't stop falling down, I'm gonna spend all my money I've got saved for England. Gotta stop getting into the savings. And it's so easy because I know I've got the money, right?
yeah.
But hey, I had to order my walker today,
Oh.
and I ordered it in red, so it's gonna take longer to come. I have to have red, have to, and but because it's through shoppers, I'm gonna use my points, and then we end up paying with the government paying part of it, $4.25.
Wow.
I got $100 on my PC points. I might as well buy something I need.
Yeah. I've actually been using PC Optimum quite a bit. I think when did I start? Maybe February? I've got like $180 like PC Optimum dollars sitting there, but
I should ask
I don't
my
know.
wife how she does the points thing.
I should just go to Superstore and buy a bunch of steak. $180 worth of steak.
Yeah.
I
Hey,
might.
my wife made me a good steak today. I could use some more free steak.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I thought of
because-
using it. Hey, I could buy Lego with that, but Superstore, there's like never any. There's nothing I really would want ever at Superstore.
I don't go to Superstore often. There's one near my mom, and like this week I went to my mom's twice, and I have no interest in going in there. Actually, for me, it's too big a store.
We used to shop there all the time as like when I was a kid. When we'd come to Brandon, Superstore was our last stop before we left because they were open till 11. So we'd do like the Walmart or whatever, and then there was a Walmart at that time even. Anyway, and then it closed at 10, and then we were off to Superstore. So we'd be at Superstore at 11, fill up the car with groceries, and drive home. It was midnight, 12:30 in the morning before we'd ever get home, and then we had to carry all the groceries in, put them away. Like 1 in the morning before getting to bed, and I'm like 10, 11 years old. Yeah. Needless to say, I didn't really want to ever go to Brandon as a kid.
Oh, no?
No.
You didn't like the trips?
Well, I didn't. If we could get home at a decent time, I would. But
Okay.
yeah, I wasn't ever crazy about getting home, not going to bed till like 1 in the morning.
I like going on road trips with my dad, but that was because a lot of my youth, my dad wasn't around. So if something came up, I liked those trips. But
Yeah.
I gotta admit, my memories of some of those trips aren't that great. Like, I remember my dad getting upset because you pee yourself sometimes. You're a little kid, like that's
So that's all you remember of it.
yeah. It's like I was 4 years old and freezing, and like whatever happened, and my dad getting all upset because of course he couldn't handle it. And yeah, I mean, I'm sure there was a much bigger story. Like, why did my dad have me on the road when I was so young? Because clearly I shouldn't have been on the road.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a conversation for me to have with my mom someday. Why did you leave me alone with him?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he was a good man. Don't get me wrong, but it's like, yeah, that's some of that was like, oh, foolish.
If my dad ever babysat us, if my mother would go to see her mother here in Toronto, we all would try to find somewhere else to go have dinner because all he could do was boil hot dogs. That was all my dad could make.
Oh,
No. Oh, hey, Dad, can you have some dinner?
my
We-
wife's
wiener
dad,
water
he was a
soup,
good cook. I used to like my wife's father's cooking. He was a great cook, but actually he had in the lumber camps in Newfoundland, he cooked for like, I guess hundreds of people or whatever in the
Yeah.
camp. And so everything he makes was like to feed 1 million people. So he doesn't make one loaf of bread. He makes like 6 or a dozen, and he made really good bread. That's the best memory I have of her father. When I met my wife, I was 16, she was 15, and I'd go over to her house, and like he was always cooking something. He had seal meat, bread. Like it was always all these new to me, and I it's not regular bread to me. It's Newfie bread because it always tastes a little different.
Yeah.
More salt in it, but that goes with, I guess, cooking for lumber people and having to cook for an army.
It's hard to cut back on your ingredients. Yeah.
Hey, Master Microwave. I would say long time no see, but that's not true. Saw you a week ago, I believe.
I always give people at work a hard time, and customers come in, they really drill me hard they want a discount or stuff like that, and I'd be like, oh God, you know what? I said, yeah, I guess I can do that, but God, it's gonna be a rough week. Like, we're gonna guess guess the family's just gonna have to live off wiener water soup for the rest of the week.
Schneider's hot dog
Yeah.
wiener water.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
can't even afford the wieners, just the water soup.
Oh, you know what my wife did to me? See, I don't like potatoes. She cooked potatoes. I don't mind French fries, but I don't like potatoes. I
Oh,
can
really?
eat scallop potatoes. I can eat a regular potato. I just don't like it. And she nuked the potatoes, and it's like, I
really?
wasn't a fan of that. Yeah, I'm not a believer you can really cook it properly in a microwave.
You know, we always had potatoes. Every meal had potatoes.
Yeah.
But
Mom potatoes.
Mom always made scallops. I didn't like scallop potatoes as a kid. Now I haven't had them in so long. I'm like craving them. I really want.
Well, I like anything that's creamy, so it's like that's I guess why I like scallop potatoes.
Yeah, I think it was just cream and mushroom soup is all it was with it. But yeah. Now
I mean that's what we
for
did.
the last time. I'm craving them. And every time I go home now, Mom never cooks for us anymore. So you're on your own.
Did she hung up her apron, did she?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, my mom was a fantastic cook.
Oh, my mom was not. She was horrible.
Oh, really?
And we had, I call it a ritual. It was like the 7 same meals, right? Week in and week out. And half of them had the same ingredients in it. And it's like, she was not a great cook.
Yeah. Mom's a good cook, but she excels at the baking and canning and stuff like that. Oh my God.
Oh yeah, that was not us. That was not my mom.
Yeah, actually,
she lacked a lot of those skills.
That keeps reminding me. I've got pickles and pickled carrots and pickled beans and stuff. I still got to crack those jars open because they're a good year and a half old. I still haven't cracked them there.
When me and my wife, as a family, when we went to Newfoundland for the first time, when we were done driving around the Rock, we ended up bringing back, and I didn't realize this, but they'd given us so much canned goods. Like everyone in Newfoundland knows how to can stuff. And I mean, moose meat and berries.
Oh, yeah.
And we had stuff forever. And some of it was okay, but some of it we weren't into. And it's like, we felt bad. Like after a while, like we got this jarred food. Yeah. We're just not into it. But we end up finding fellow Newfies who would take it off our hands. And
pickled.
It's what you used to too. What you're raised with.
Yeah.
Right?
I tell you what was cool though, driving along the highway in Newfoundland and seeing people at the side of the road with their car, they got a blanket on the hood of their car selling berries right there on the highway. It was such a weird thing to see given Toronto highways. If you pull over, you're going to die. Right. There's a really good chance you'll get hit. But in Newfoundland, it's so relaxed and so easy. And not just berries, like there were spots where we could pull over and get a spring water right out of the mountain, right out of the hillside. Yeah, there's some spots you knew where to get it and where not to because arsenic is a problem you got to worry about in Newfoundland. So some of the water sources aren't good. But there's absolutely places where you see everyone pull up with, with the cars that got jugs. And yeah, it's great water. And I tell you, the water was good.
The Newfies are bottling the ditch water.
Well, it's not quite ditch water. I mean, it's kind of scenic, those spots. They're not like run down spots, but it's a different world. It really is.
Yeah. The pickling foods and stuff like around here, that's a real like Ukrainian thing. And we had, was that last year? Oh, bet you no, that was before COVID. One of the girls I work with, she was our admin lady, and we were talking about pickled carrots. It's like, I haven't had them so long. And she's like, oh, I got some jars at home. I'll bring one. So she brought it into work. And by like 9 o'clock, we were like, all right, we're tying into the carrots, the pickled carrots. Cracked the jar open. We're all tying into them, having a few. And you could just smell the garlic and stuff in the office and stuff. Oh, well, we have a big Ukrainian fella that works as a mechanic. He comes up and he's like, you guys eating dill pickles or something? It's like pickled carrots. Oh, where are they? Right here. So give him the jar, and he takes a few. And like I said, all you can smell is garlic. And he's like, not enough garlic.
Not enough.
He's
Not
like,
enough.
needs more garlic.
I mean, I
I
love
like
pickles,
those.
and we buy garlic and non-garlic, and I'm sitting there and eat one or two or three at a time. But it gets to me like, but I do like pickles.
When you
What?
shows your figure, what figures?
The figures.
Mm.
What are you talking about?
Your figures.
What?
Lego guy.
What about them?
I'll show you.
Quick, grab them. What are you doing?
Are we on you?
Mm-hmm. Do you want it?
What?
Go put on your pajamas.
Hey, I got that same
Pajamas.
shirt. That's a cool
I'll
shirt.
want to.
There we go. That should be another one done. Hey, at least I'm making some progress. This pile is slowly whittling down. Oh God, this one's so big. I don't even know how to take a picture of something so big.
Nathan
think
wants to
you
show
and
off his
Jack
new
have fun.
figures. So.
Oh,
You
he's
and
gonna
Jack,
show us figures?
Yeah.
you and Jack had too much fun at the stores this week. I think you and Jack had too much fun.
Oh man, there's a price tag on this box.
We got the. Actually, I was very surprised because you never find sets on sale at the Lego store. Rarely. We got
Oh, no?
that Hall of Armor set for like $56.
Yeah.
That was a good deal. It's 60 on Amazon right now, but it was 56
Yeah.
or 55.99. But plus out there, there's only one tax, so there's only 5% tax. It was a good deal.
Oh,
Nice.
yes.
Yeah,
See, it's
you
12 or
come to
13
Manitoba.
cents here. It's
Yeah.
nasty.
Yeah, you come to Manitoba, it's another 7% PST. So yeah, I forgot all about it, and I got out there. I was like, oh yeah. The last time we went out there, I bought some sets for Christmas, and just same thing. I think there was some stuff. We went to Chapters, and there were sets for 20% off, plus only paying one tax. I was like, yeah, I'm right. Yeah,
Nice.
yeah, do the Christmas shopping while we're out.
Oh, I tell you, I would love to only pay one tax.
Yeah, no kidding, eh? That's Rocky's lucky. He's very lucky that way.
I'm trying to get this price tag off from the set I bought at the toy convention. It's like, why they push it on so tight? Oh,
I don't know if you're still around there. Hey, Macro. I see he's on the chat there.
Oh man, is he?
Macro Bricks. Whether he's.
What time? Oh, that
I
was
don't-
7 or 8 minutes ago.
Yeah, I don't think he's around anymore.
Oh, that is horrible. So this guy with this, yeah, I'll never get it all clean. Shoot. It must have been a marker. Yeah, look, it went right through the sticker, right into the box.
Oh, hey, Macro. Yeah, he is there.
Is he back?
Yep.
Hey,
my
let's see if I can figure out what screen is my mouse on. There. If you're handy, here's a stream link for you if you want to come on. Yeah, I can't make that thing any better on that where the sticker was. Oh well. I mean, it's a beat up box. I'm not too worried about it. But I tell you, I made a good when I bought this one, as long as the contents are okay. Did you see Rich Boy Jay? He got screwed on a box from Walmart on a battle pack set, the recent one. He he bought the battle pack, opened it up live on stream, and no figures were in it. Someone took all 6 figures. He was so upset.
Oh.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So was that like the Sith Trooper one?
No, that the
Or the 501st?
yeah, the 501st.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And it's not like he hadn't had other packs or anything, but it's like he was live on stream. It just killed him.
Burn.
Yeah. I mean, he's had a rough Well, I mean, rough because of him traveling with that set he built, that mock. I mean, I can't imagine traveling with something built like that.
Yeah, he's been at it for 2 weeks too. He went to there was one in Texas, and then he hauled it all the way to Virginia. See, I think, or not all of it, but a part of it.
Part of it,
he was at,
yeah.
He was at Brick Fairs. That's a long Texas to Virginia. That's a long haul.
Oh my God. I have to sit so far back to take a picture of this set, and I'm probably going to have to crop the photos
You just made that, did you?
later. Oh, has he got the figures?
Come here.
I'll look at the screen here. Give me 1 sec.
Ryan, what's his son's name?
This is Nathan.
Hi, Nathan.
Oh,
Can hear it thing.
yeah.
Yeah, Ryan didn't know me yet, so he wasn't small enough to name him Richard.
Yeah. Yeah. Eileen said hi.
Hi.
Had the headphones on so you couldn't hear. He wasn't hearing
Oh,
it.
okay. Yeah, Annabelle came in on the weekend, and she was like, I told you, I seen all the new record versus last time she showed.
You want to show them here suits of armor? Yeah, hold on. Up here's the camera.
Nice.
So that's which one's that, Nathan?
Mark 50.
Mark 50. Okay. Tell them which ones they are.
I think this is like the PS4 version, right, Daddy?
I don't know what Mark what.
I don't know. It's like this other suit
Oh,
from
is that?
like a video game.
Oh, okay.
First one.
Mark 1.
Yeah. Oh, I think it's called Bones. Or Mark 41.
41.
41. And my favorite, Mark 5.
I like that one.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
See, that was a pretty good deal we found, eh?
Um,
Oh, yeah, and then he made his own. Well, it come with like a Mac. I didn't know it come with a Mac.
Yeah.
I didn't even realize that. Open him up, show him what you made. He made his own Tony Stark. Just
Oh,
face.
nice.
Good job.
I had an extra. This one that I just put.
Yeah. Oh, you had an extra helmet.
An extra
Oh,
Tony
here.
Stark
Here,
head.
please.
And the hairpiece came in the set. So I just plopped it on, took the head from this, put it right, and he can't see it.
You like mixing and matching, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
Eh? Yeah. Oh,
Just
here
like
goes.
Annabelle.
Pretty slick.
Eh?
Mm-hmm.
What do you think of the new setup, Nathan? You like the way I moved the room around?
Mm-hmm.
See, I figured now people can see they can see stuff I've got on the walls and stuff. Right? And you can see Darth Maul off in the corner. Oh yeah.
Oh, nice.
I think I started.
Everyone got Build-A-Bear a couple of years ago. So Dad had to get Build-A-Bear too.
Nice.
Cool.
Yeah, just a big kid.
That's pretty cool.
Oh, I see something on what, Richard, on your desk.
On my desk? Oh, what? This?
Yeah.
Yeah. As soon as I take a picture of it, my wife's going to build it. So I haven't taken pictures of it on purpose. As soon as I do, she's going to take it.
Maybe better off to bed. Okay. I'm gonna get these rascals to bed. I'll be right back.
Sure. Let's see how this picture turned out. It's not bad. It's so hard to take a picture of something so big. Testing 1, 2. Ah, okay, right. So he had his speaker.
Yeah.
I was wondering where the echo come from. See, for me, with the 2 and 3 cameras, I have to be very careful. I set some of them not just to be muted, but that they use something that isn't actually a mic for a mic, or sorry, speakers, so that I don't hear echoes. Because as soon as I hear the echoes, I can't talk anymore. My brain can't focus. It's just too much.
I was in the Sherwood Gardens Lego store. Hadn't gotten the Katrinas yet. And that's what I really wanted to get. So I guess I'm going to be phoning them all week. Because I'm sick of ordering online and waiting weeks to get it.
I'm trying to think where did I get this one? Oh, you know what? I got this from Brad.
Yeah, I could be.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I got that from Brad and the space set. I was trying to wonder. That's a problem. That's why I got to catalog this stuff. I don't even know where I get it from sometimes. And I put that information in. Like, I want to know where it came from, especially if someone did me a favor or something. Okay, this is going to be tricky. I heard the join. Now I got to scroll down. Shazam.
Awesome.
Good evening. Are you bored too? Shazam. I literally just wanted to start something up so I could talk to people, because I'm sitting here just one at a time, archiving everything, taking pictures of my purchases so I can put them away on shelves and forget about them for a while, and figured I'm doing this. I could be talking to someone while I'm doing it.
Now how do I hear?
Oh, you're not hearing this? Testing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Testing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You're not hearing us at all, are you?
You're on mute.
Is he muted? Oh, he is.
Muted.
Now, can I unmute him, or does he? There you go.
But he's got something running in the background.
Is there an echo?
Close the YouTube off.
I'm hearing. Oh yeah, I'm thinking, but that could be Ryan. I think Ryan introduced an echo earlier.
I wanted to say hi.
Hi.
Let's see. Yeah, because I'm hearing myself through one of you guys.
I'm hearing double.
Yeah.
Now I bet you are.
1, 2, 3, 4. That now there's no echo.
It's Ryan.
Uh-oh. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, no echo. Hey, Aaron. All right. I'm going to hazard. Well, I don't know if I'm going to hazard a guess. Oh, who opened it up again?
Ryan did.
Right. All right, Aaron, what are we guessing at? Let's see. I got to try and take some more of these pictures. My progress has only slowed down here.
I might be up on my birthday around Brad's area.
What area? My area?
No, Brad.
Oh.
I'm going up to Paris for my birthday in 2 weeks.
What area? My area?
No, Brad.
Oh. And I'm hearing a delay too. Wherever that's coming out, I'm hearing a delay.
Well, I had to shut down my YouTube and just be on StreamYard. And I think that's where the double's coming from.
Okay.
Somebody's got the YouTube and the stream over at the same time.
Right. What's the trick to stopping the echo again? 1 sec. Well, I use a headset. That's my number one. Using a headset, definitely recommended. because then the audio's not coming back around, from your speaker.
Happy birthday, Aaron.
Oh, wait. The audio's not coming back around. Happy birthday, Mr. Walsh. Many more returns.
Marco, turn off the YouTube and just have StreamYard open.
An extra helmet.
Oh, this is so bad. I'm trying to fix shadows too. All right. I'm gonna hazard. I'm gonna hazard again. Oh, who else did that again? Let's see how this. I don't know if this is gonna work. I don't think I'm gonna win on this. This is gonna be rough. This box is just too big.
So, Rick, what is that? Is he off the main drag? Is that off the main drag or what?
I didn't hear it. Sorry, I didn't catch that.
Okay. Is Brad off the main drag of Paris?
Oh, he's. How can I describe?
Give me
From downtown Paris, he's only like 4 minutes away, I think.
So, towards Mary Maxon's then. Or are you going back into Brantford?
Not back into Brantford, Brant.
I know it's Brantford. I lived there for 32 years. I didn't know where I was raised.
I mean, I totally drive by the GPS. So admittedly, I don't know everything about his neck of the woods.
I can find it in a heartbeat. Just
Oh, yeah?
give me a main street. If it's off the main street, is it up by the McDonald's?
Oh, I don't even know where the McDonald's is.
It's on the main street of Paris.
Yeah, I don't know. Nope.
Okay.
I'm missing. What did I not do? Oh. See, and I make my life hard too because I want the photography of all the sides of the boxes too. Because someday I won't have the box; it'll be in the trash, and my pictures will be all I have left of it. So I don't keep the boxes like I used to.
I still trying to sneak mine out.
Okay, now there's no echo, right?
Oh, that's beautiful. Clean and sharp audio.
Yeah.
Okay. See, I'm learning. I don't do the StreamYard, so that's why I didn't do it last night. I'm learning about it. So.
Okay. Yeah, this sounds like your stream right now. The audio is really clean.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Now I just got to remember that, like Mama said, thank you. Don't have the YouTube open.
Or just mute it, right? I mean,
Yeah.
I tend to just so I can see it. Sometimes as a backup for the chat, because StreamYards can sometimes trash the chat. Like in my case, running the stream, it's an ML chat with all three Twitch, Facebook, and YouTube chats all intermixed, so I can see where people are when they're talking. But pretty much everyone who comes in, they'll be on YouTube because that's what I encourage.
Kate, good call. Because good to know I don't got chat either, so I'm gonna go fix that right now as well.
Awesome. That picture looks good. That looks okay. It's a little washed out, but I can't help it.
Brian, I just picked this by the pretty colors. Don't even know if I need the print. I just like the colors.
Let's see. There we go. That works too.
If anybody has some old friends mini dolls, let me know. I'm looking for some.
Oh, yeah? I think we're all looking for some.
So I'm
That
returning
is all
Gary.
sorted out. Thank you.
So are you building tonight, or are you just chilling or sorting? What are you up to, Macro?
Well, I'm hanging out with you guys now.
Yeah, well, that's cool. Yeah, but see, from my perspective, like because of the time difference between my neck of the woods and yours, like when I watch you, it's like I should always be in bed. Pretty much if I'm watching you, it's usually I should always be in bed because you know, what are we, 2-3 hours difference? And then when I do start watching, it's late and it's like, oh no.
That makes sense. If I'm not starting till 7, it's going to be 11 your